Welcome, people. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk TV here on AOC Community Media. People, check out AOC Community Media, a great source of information. In these times, we need organizations, media operations such as AOC. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to explain to you in a few when we get Brother Keith on the line why I think AOC is so important to all of us. So much is going on, people, since last we spoke. Impending government shutdown is coming about, and let me adjust my oh oh we're gonna get that out of the view. My PTZ camera. Shout out to the people who have PTZ cameras. Not everybody's able to. Uh, we definitely appreciate having Real Talk on this station, and we want to also inform our people that things are just moving so fluid. So I'm gonna bring on Brother Keith and let him tell you good evening. Granted that we have a different background behind Brother Keith. We're gonna get
Morning.
our color scheme together, Brother Keith. We got a different color
Yeah,
scheme.
it's more. It's
We got
yeah, it's more
purple
like
and blue, and then we go to black.
yeah,
But we could definitely be going with all black in the future. Go ahead, Brother Keith. Good morning.
but that's great. That's awesome. Good morning, to the viewing, listening audience. Got to say viewing and listening audience, because we want to let you know that you can access this show and all other shows on Soul Radio, Digital Soul Radio on the Digital Soul app through Apple, the App Store, or the Google Play Store, and also through Roku TV, Acadiana Open Channel AOC, which is AOC. You can watch it live, and we want to thank all the sponsors and everybody who helped to make shows and continue these shows and put these shows on. These are great shows. We have to support these shows. Um, we know that there's some attack on support from media such as this local and down to earth. We know there's some attacks on that, but not to get into that stuff. Just want to say thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody is having a happy Tuesday. Hope everybody got a great start to their week, whether it's a work week, whether it's business week, whatever kind of week. Hope everybody got a great start, but I'm pretty sure we got a lot of information and educational facts to share with you on today. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of issues we're going to address on today. We got to give it to Brother Jay for being the icon for these platforms, being the back man, the IT man for most of these platforms and most of these shows, keeping these shows going. We got to give Brother Jay his flowers now. So
I don't know how to
I
take
guess
that
we
one,
can
Brother
get
Keith.
into it, Brother Jay. Dive into it. Another thing too. Let's another thing. The views and opinions expressed today does not represent the views and opinions of Kadiana Open Channel, Digital Soul Radio, Digital Soul Media, Cox 1516, or LUS Fiber 3 and 4, not even Lafayette Consolidated Government. The views and opinions of the host, the co host, and the guests. Gotta get that disclaimer out there, Brother J,
Yes,
because
yes,
we can
sir.
go
Yes,
deep.
sir. We want to thank AOC Community Media for right now. Freedom of speech is under attack, and I got some actually graphic to show what I meant by that. But I also want to say, if people want to listen, they can go to digitalsoulradio.net. Go to digitalsoulradio.net. Download the app at Digital Soul, and you could listen to the show. The audio portion is streaming live on the playlist right now. What we're speaking about right now You could actually take phone calls and listen to it on the radio. Put it in your car. You're on Roku. You're on Fire TV. You're on TuneIn, especially TuneIn. You could listen to. Go to digitalsoulradio.net. But first of all, download the app. Also, download the app for AOC Community Media. AOC Community Media has an excellent app, and I'm gonna get into the technical stuff. That it is low overhead, meaning that the streaming platform, you could actually watch the video without any lag or anything else because of the way the streaming platform is. So one day we will explain that technical part where you could look at the
Yeah.
show on your phone and don't have any kind of lag or buffering. What they call buffering is the lag in it. And also you could go on Facebook under Brother J and you could look at the show. And if you go to YouTube, go to Real Talk on the Air on YouTube, Real Talk on the Air, all one word together, and you could look at it on YouTube. So many different places you could listen and look at this show that we bring to you all on a lot of our platforms. I want to say, Brother Keith, before I get into the government shutdown thing and so forth, you hear my AP wire is running in the back. It's not AP wire. It's a good old-fashioned printer. That's what I call my AP wire service, where I'm printing out some articles to read to people about the government shutdown, especially how it will affect Louisiana. This is very important. The thing is, I heard, and it's not attacking anyone if they take it personal, who gives a good goddamn. The thing is, when you're on corporate media, and you're on a corporate media station, and you say you there for the betterment of the black community, then you're also a part of government, local government. Why is it that you can't speak freely and truly to the people because you're worried about what they're going to say? Now, let me say this thing about the Charlie Kirk thing. And I don't want to backtrack on it. I'm just talking about the aspects of getting out the information. First of all, Charlie Kirk was not who the mainstream media said he was. The mainstream media right now is under the pressure from the Trump administration. They're doing his bidding, Brother Keith. They're doing his bidding, right? Yeah. He didn't sue him. He's threatening. He actually just announced last night, YouTube gonna pay him $22 million because we remember when they had the January 6th insurrection thing, white supremacists was going off trying to overrun the Capitol, right? Well, YouTube took his platform, took his YouTube channel down. So now he didn't put pressure by suing them where they gonna settle for $22 million to give to this lying, thieving, illiterate, racist person in the White House. While you and me, who we just crossed the line and say something about the vaccine, they gonna kick our ass off for good. This is the norm now. The media is under control of the MAGA movement. So I'm saying that to say if you are a local person and you're on the corporate media, we know they got corporate stations in Lafayette, Louisiana, that's not wholly owned by black folks, right? We the only one was you on a non-profit station speaking the truth to power. So when you get there and say, oh no, that don't involve us, we need to take care of our own self, we need to worry about doing our own self. Well, that don't fly, because guess what? Charlie Kirk situation infused itself into the black community. So if you serve in the black community, it's your duty to tell the black community that Charlie Kirk rhetoric out there was destroying the black folk. Because guess what? What happened after he got shot by one of his own people, right? They came after the black institution, the black university. So that involves us. So don't come here and try to lecture the black community that we shouldn't be worrying about Charlie Kirk when the black community is being affected because a white-on-white crime, like I said in the post, and then they blame black folks for it. So I don't want to hear that any corporate media black person hosting on a corporate station is being disingenuous when they say stuff like that. Don't lecture the black folks. Lecture the people you're serving with in the elected position you are. Ask the mayor president if they support MAGA and support what happened to the HBCUs and stuff like that. A lot of hypocrisy, a lot of stuff going on with some of our people, man.
And let me make this point, Brother J. Let me make this point. um Charlie Kirk situation. When when you black leaders, whether political or whether whether they be encouraging, get up there and tell black and brown people that on the surface you need to respect the dead and you shouldn't be saying this or that, which most most black or brown person that then put out information on Charlie Kirk put out his own words, his own speaking, his own speeches. It's not it's not like a black or brown person just getting out there and blaspheming Charlie Kirk's name. This is actual stuff that he said that he proven. They want you to believe the Kirk guy was some kind of American angel or some kind of Mother Teresa, which when he was Satan himself. And I say this is not a black person, whether it's corporate media, whether it's the church houses, or whether it's hall, or whether it's the Louisiana State Capitol. Is not a politician, a clergy, or an African American community leader should stand up and tell black and brown people they shouldn't talk about Charlie Kirk's track record. They shouldn't bring it. It's not a black or brown person should say that. And then just the notion to say that what about the, the the black and brown people, we not talking about the wrong they brother J, especially here in the state of Louisiana. How many law enforcement officers to stop a black man or a black or brown person, and it goes to a level of violence, straight violence,
Mm-hmm.
where they take someone's life? You don't you don't hear nothing about well, this person was American angel. What matter of fact, what the MAGA do and the Republican Party do when a black man is brutalized in this country or killed at the hands of injustice, police tactics in this country, you know the first thing they go to do? The first thing they go to doing is discrediting that individual, calling them a monster. And it's been done multiple times, calling them monsters, individuals, not even looking at them as a person on the surface. On the surface. So for us to get up there and say that we should praise Charlie Kirk, or we should make, or we shouldn't put Charlie Kirk's evil evangelical ideology on the line when speaking of what happened to Charlie Kirk. And no, I don't wish that on no one. And no one deserves to be assassinated.
Right.
But I'm not gonna sit on and cry over Satan.
Right.
Not at
Right.
all. Not
Right.
at all. Oh, Ronald Green. Ronald Green. I'm glad you put that highlight up, brother G. Ronald Green. Ronald Green was beaten, I don't know how many seconds, how many hours, how many minutes. Was beaten. Well, first chased, was beaten. calling for his mama, begging him to stop, telling the officers, "I'm your brother, man. Why? I'm your brother." And yet the evilness still continued till he lost his life at the hands of the Louisiana State troopers. And then not only lost his life, but after covering up. You know what state officials did? You know what people in the justice I'm at the state trooper's office did? Covered it up, cover up after cover up after cover up after cover up after cover up. Then when it started becoming a big story, they put up a mock investigation. A mock investigation. Because at the time the governor was Democrat and they was trying to find something dirty on the Democratic governor. The Republican-led Senate, House of Representatives, uh, in uh in the state of Louisiana. They was trying to find something dirty on the Democratic government. So they created this mock investigation, and still yet, Ronald Green family have yet to know what justice looked like, or have yet to see justice. Have yet to see justice. So when you come to a black and brown person and tell them that they should be um talking about the life or legacy of how Charlie Kirk lived, his demonic tactics, his hate speeches, his Satan-led speeches, go in the back of your mind and look at that picture of Ronald Green. Go in the back of your mind and visualize and imagine what the Louisiana State Troopers did to Ronald Green, especially if you're a politician. Especially if you're a politician and ask yourself, what am I doing to make sure black and brown people get justice in the state of Louisiana?
Brother Keith,
Before
and before we go further along, remember I said we was going to do a different format. I want to run a clip concerning our dear sister who passed on, transition, Sister Shada Shakur, who was unapologetically a person who fought for liberation of black folks and who was framed by the American government. You know what happened to Malcolm X, you know what happened to Martin Luther King and others, Fred Hampton, where this sister to me is in the same light. And I've been following her long since I have been following her since I had a chance to meet back in the day Sister Khadijah and Sister Akila Ali, who was an attorney, and learned much about Sister Shada Shakur for the last 30-some plus years. And we want to give this clip to let people, remind people know how the system play each other against. And we got Dr. Jared Ball, a Facebook friend of mine, and very learned brother, who we're gonna have a future guest on the show. And he has a clip he want to do on behalf of Sister Shada Shakur. I'm gonna run that clip right now, Brother Keith.
all right, brother.
All right.
Assata Shakur could only be captured by narrative. In the immediate moments after her death, we're already seeing where from the right to the nominal left, there's an attempt to rebrand, reframe, and misrepresent who she was and the struggle she represented and fought for. On the right, we get Disney, ABC News, state-sponsored spin. And from the nominal left, we get a black capitalist, Cop City supporter falsely associating with Assata for the purposes of not only rebranding who she was and what she represented, but who he is and what it means to be a left, liberal, progressive, so-called activist in 2025. This first one was actually sent to me by an apolitical loved one who knew I would be interested in the passing of Assata Shakur, but who is admittedly not super familiar with the context and the politics and the history. But I think it speaks to exactly the point and the problem I'm wanting to quickly highlight here. That for those who are politically uneducated or undereducated or underaware of this history and its context, the manipulation and the framing of the story, and even the willingness and the interest in the mainstream in covering this story at all is, again, I think very telling and it's somewhat important for us to consider. Assata Shakur, wanted Black Liberation Army member, dies at 78 in Cuba. So, admittedly, it's speculation, but we could assume how little is ever discussed in mainstream ABC News, Disney-sponsored media about the history of the Black Liberation Army at all. So that it's mentioned here is already setting up a certain frame. As the subtitle here says, also known as Joanne Chesimard, she was convicted for murdering a trooper. There you go. Black Liberation Army convicted of murdering a trooper, dies in Cuba. The story ends up proceeding from there to be more about the slain officer than Assata herself or the struggle that she was involved in the first place. So it just immediately goes to a discussion of her conviction for the murder of Trooper Werner Forrester and subsequent escape, which garnered her a permanent spot on the New Jersey State Police's most wanted list. Okay. It mentions that she broke out, but it just says here, in May 1973, Shakur and two other members of the Black Liberation Army, BLA, an underground militant group, were pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike by Trooper Forrester and another highway officer. During the confrontation, a shootout ensued, killing Forrester and one of the passengers in the car. So they not only leave out the other officer, but they leave out reference to Zaid Shakur, Sundiata Acoli, and anyone else, because it might lead people to wonder, well, what then exactly happened? Who did the shooting? What was really going on? Why were they pulled over in the first place? What is the New Jersey State Police's history with right-wing conservative politics, including a very Nazi-like uniform that was selected for its Nazi similarities on purpose, and so on and so on. So all of that is ignored so that the frame can be of a slain officer killed by this woman who has been wanted for all these years and just died. I was convicted by, I don't even want to call it a trial, it was a lynching by an all-white jury, Shakur told BET in 2001. I had nothing but contempt for the system of justice under which I was tried. Amazing that interview took place in 2001 on BET, and it'd be fascinating if BET had ever been an outlet that would have fostered routine discussion and focus on these histories, but that's another discussion for another time. The FBI had offered a $2 million reward for her capture, which was, of course, raised to $2 million under Barack Obama, under Eric Holder as Attorney General, and announced by the Black FBI agent at the time. A joint statement from New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and State Police Superintendent Colonel Patrick Callahan on Friday said that they had spoken with Secretary of State Marco Rubio in the wake of Shakur's death. They said they would vigorously oppose any attempts to repatriate her remains to the U.S. Unlike his killer, Trooper Forrester never had a chance to live out his days in peace, the joint statement said, but we remain fully committed to honoring his memory and sacrifice. So you can see that there's the immediate framing there. For people who are not immediately aware or understanding of the context, this is how she's depicted. This is how the history of Black liberation struggles, including the more militant wings of it, are depicted. And we get more concern for the slain officer than any honest depiction of what led to that killing, who was actually responsible for it, or why Assata would have rightfully been engaged in the activities that she was involved in at the time, and for which she should forever be considered a hero. But I actually think it gets worse than that, because here we get this statement from Killer Mike, who, as I've covered enough about, never mind the disagreement over my own work, but his rampant and vigorous support of the police, of Cop City, of Black capitalism, his doing tracks for Defense Department video games and in helping promote psychological warfare through video games. And then for him to come back on Instagram and post this saying, quote, "Thank you, job well done. You have joined our ancestors untouched by this wicked government. You are a hero. We love and appreciate you deeply as always. May our children never forget your name and your work on our behalf for freedom and justice. God bless our dead and protect our living. R.I.P. Assata Shakur." I find this to be wildly disingenuous and an effort to rebrand not only Assata as more in line with the liberal politics of a Killer Mike, but to rebrand the liberal politics of a Killer Mike as being in league politically with the work of Assata Shakur. This to me is worse and more of a challenge and a threat to critical thinking and radical political consciousness than Disney and ABC's rebranding and reframing and abuse, narrative abuse. That is more easily dismissed and exposed. This kind of approach, which I think we're going to see more and more of as more radical elders pass away and new generations seek to attain relevance and leadership in a context and in a situation where where it's understood you cannot come out and condemn Assata in the same way you can't come out and condemn Malcolm X or Dr. King. You can come out and falsely associate and rebrand their efforts as something you are continuing and have this give undue legitimacy and credibility to people who are not actually carrying on that legacy and that work and that analysis and that form of struggle. So that's why, and I'm going to leave the links in the show description, that I think it's so important that people like Jared Ware, Millennials Are Killing Capitalism, did the tribute that they did yesterday. I think it's important what we did earlier today on Saturdays with Renee, and I'm going to leave you with my reading of the statement Dhoruba bin Wahad just released in the aftermath of Assata Shakur's death, so that we can leave at least here with the appropriate political clarity, analysis, and framing that needs to be carried forward and be brought in to challenge those from both the left, the nominal left, and the right who want to rebrand, reframe, and misrepresent Assata Shakur and the struggle she fought for and worked within and represented. I'll leave you with the words from Dhoruba: peace and power to him, rest and power to Assata Shakur, and peace to us all, only if we're willing to fight for it, like Fred Hampton used to say. And I'll see you next time right here at I Mix What I Like. But if I can, so just...
Yeah, Brother Keith, I hope you got something out of that. He was just showing the example, and he said some great things about Sister Ashada. We just got to read through it. They got a lot of people who claim to be activists, who claim to want justice for black folks here, but yet they part of the corporate situation and something. And he referenced to Killer Mike, right? He's saying that's worse than what the ABC Disney news outlet said about her not telling the whole story of why she was in the situation she was, right? Killer Mike, and we know Killer Mike out of Atlanta. He's invested in the black community. He's done so many. But at the same time, he promoting those shoot 'em up, bang up video games. He making soundtracks for them. He's promoting that Cop City, that big old complex in Atlanta. Everybody was protesting a couple of years ago. He supported a lot of the corporate situation, Brother Keith, and the things that's hurting black folks. So we see a lot of that, what he said, in what we dealing with here in South Louisiana. We got people who pretend for the black community. We got groups who are and so supposedly advocating for the black community. But all you see is self-aggrandizement every week, because when you start giving awards to yourself over and over again for work that you never really did. You never really went to jail. You never did anything in protest of the black community to move the needle, but you benefit off of that. You was able to move up, upward mobile, be an upwardly mobile person in the South Louisiana area because of the blood, sweat, and tears of people who protest and actually did the real work. And that's what we have in South Louisiana. But rest assured that people know the truth. Again, a salute to Sister Ashada Shakur, and if we have some time, before we end the show, we might run some more clips on her, and we'll be doing something on AOC Community Media. Sister Khadijah and the crew, those who followed Sister Ashada Shakur and who advocated for her getting justice. She did not come back in chains like they wanted her to come back like a slave. She died because of the grace of Cuba. You could say what you want about Cuba, but I definitely appreciate them giving her refuge. Go ahead, Brother
Correct,
Keith.
correct. And that's the thing, brother Jay. If I gotta sit back and lower my tone to get an award from these groups organizations, if I gotta sit back and what I'm gonna say is water down the Kool-Aid on how on how we do this activist work, then I don't need the award. I don't want the award. Give it to somebody else. Give it to somebody else who like their Kool-Aid with water down with hardly no sugar. But that's not for me. And I'll say this: we need to re-examine and look at ourselves and say, are we fighting for real? Are we fighting for real? Are we with our community? Are we fighting for real? And that's every activist, every politician. We need to look in and see and say why we haven't moved the ball, why we haven't why this haven't happened, why that haven't happened, why and I was speaking to take me to another topic. I was speaking to a prominent leader on last night, a prominent leader, prominent former politician, prominent community leader in the North Side community here in Lafayette. And um throughout the conversation this was brought up, and we need to ask ourselves why on the surface we can't have a public hearing on why black and brown people is having all these violent attempts with one another, why we can't have a public hearing on how to attack the injustice through the justice system, the injustice through law enforcement. Why we can't all sit down and have a conversation on how to move forward, how to stop it, how to kill it. And when I say us, I don't mean just the same few community leaders or just the same few people or the people where you invite or the meetings where you invite certain people. No, I mean open it up to the whole community, open it up to the public, and let everybody sit down and have a conversation on it. Because there's a lot of things in our community that we need to sit on and re-examine ourselves on why. Because we're not moving the ball on certain things. We're not getting what we want. And I know that we're about to have a major development in Harmon Park here on the north side of Lafayette. But then at amphitheater, it's, it's a good thing. It's a good thing we enjoy and have these festivals and entertainment. That's great. That's perfect. But then on the other hand, on the surface, outside the enjoyment, outside the festivals, outside the crawfish eating, we need to just sit down and have an open dialogue on how to move forward. We need and we need, I'm gonna say this, we need our politicians to be more vocal, be more active. Come and let's have a conversation. Come on the surface and have a conversation. I mean, It's sad. It's sickening. Things are happening that are sickening. It's sickening. It's sickening. We've been. It's been what, brother Jay? And I'm just guesstimating. I don't know. Maybe what, 5 years, 7 years, if it's not longer. We've been fighting for justice for Ronald Green, for Ronald Green, Trayford Pellerin. It's a lot of things that's happening on the surface. And I'm glad I went to that topic because also what I want to bring up, nobody have um seen this, nobody have talked about it, and I don't know if it's because we're not uh we're not familiar with it, or there was no story, because no news outlet here broke a story about it. And it's been what, maybe 6 7 months, a year, 7 months to a year ago. A man was arrested in Broussard by a Broussard officer. The Broussard officer called him a nigger. And excuse my language on this platform, but we put out our disclaimer. Broussard police officer called the man the N word. Uh, hit him across the head with his flashlight,
Right.
and then arrested him for for public invasion, and he's in his own yard. He's in his own yard. Arrest him in his own yard because a white neighbor called a cop and said something about a threat. And I didn't finish watching the full clip about it, but said something about a threat, and that's right there in Broussard. So when I say uh, the things that we talk about and the things that hit the media, that's a few.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
few.
Yeah.
Not counting on what's happening in the past. And I know you want to go
And
to.
yeah,
I
and
know you.
brother Keith, before we go to that, I was informed by one of our good brothers yesterday about an incident with Lafayette PD again. Another officer, Lafayette Police. I'm gonna read the article from KLFY TV, which I really don't want to be referenced because they're owned by Nexstar. Channel 10 people is owned by Nexstar. Remember that? The same people that banned Jimmy Kimball, the same people that are in league with has is the parent company of News Nation, a so-called mainstream, middle of the road news operation that mirrors Fox News. They claim to be middle of the road, but they are parroting for the MAGA generation. Nexstar, remember that's who owns Channel 10. But anyway, I digress. A Lafayette police officer was arrested Sunday and accused of domestic violence, authorities say. Christian Henson, 27, is charged with battery of a dating partner and false imprisonment. Henson is booked into Lafayette Parish Correctional Center. Bond details were not released. Henson will be placed on administrative leave, you know what that is, upon his release. And he probably could show back up on the street where he could get angry and take it out on black folks on the side of the road. So this is what we have in South Louisiana, recycling of these violent, probably more than that, racist cops keep being put back in the system, and we keep continuing having the same thing. How many Lafayette police officers have been involved in so many things in the last couple of months?
And
A bunch
and
of
and,
them,
and
you
that
know?
and and that's my take, brother Jay. And that's why I say us, we need to sit down and have a public dialogue on how to move forward with these issues. I mean, within the police, within, and this is just Lafayette. How many other police agencies you got in the state of Louisiana that are on the same surface having these
Mm-hmm.
tactics going through, having these officers, and what these officers do with what these departments do, and I tell you
Well,
this,
well,
what
I
they
got
do.
news for you, brother Keith. It gets worse. If you look at the article up there, it's from different websites. It's a printout of what uh, is going to be happening. I'm gonna read this from the Democracy Docket. Go to the Democracy Docket. Just do a search for it. It's a group of lawyers who are actually suing the Trump administration for all of these wrongdoing that he's doing. You know what, Keith? Let me stop right here. Where are the Democrats at? Where are the responsible people? They got Republicans and conservatives who were once in government who is calling for some type of tribunal after this Trump administration does not have any power. They should open up some war crimes and investigation for abuse of power. From Pam Blondie to the cross-eyed FBI agent who want to tell people don't celebrate Sister Ashada Sakura, you know, and look, that clown is much more darker than you and me. You know, he looked like he's from Grand Marriott, but he's a MAGA through and through. But anyway, from the Democracy Docket, in dangerous attack on the left-leaning nonprofits, Trump orders government to go after domestic terrorist network, meaning he's going to link groups such as the NAACP when they speak on race, like the ACLU, maybe you and me, or anybody who speaks out against him. And there's a list of stuff. You could be anti-American, whatever the hell that is. He's making up words. Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalist, anti-Christianity, meaning what? So if I believe in a stop sign, I'm a terrorist. I worship a stop sign, people, so I'm a terrorist. Support for the overthrow of the United States government. Well, he should put his own damn self in jail because that's what he was trying to do. Say like the old school pig meat Martin and here comes the judge. I'm opening up the court by giving myself 6 months. Well, goddamn Trump, you should put yourself in jail. You do have support. You did support the overthrow of the United States government, and that's your list of things. Extremism in migration, so you can't complain that they want to just pick people up out of nowhere. Extremism on race, and that's where it targets people like us. When we say you're racist, we being some extremists. Therefore, we are terrorists. When I say this white man called me a nigger, so shouldn't he be speaking about the Klan and the Nazis that are in his administration, like Stephen Miller? Shouldn't he be speaking on that? Nothing but hypocrisy in this thing. Hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on a family. Suppose I want to be into the poly, what they call that when you have different wives, a man. So I'm an extremist, but yet he grab him by the pee all the time, you know. But he put his, like I say, he could put his own damn self in jail. Hostility toward those who hold traditional views on religion and whatever. I don't have the ending of it. Hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on morality. God damn, boy, that's all of him right there. He should put his own self in jail and call his own self a terrorist because he definitely don't have no morality. Grab him by the pee. The Christians definitely uphold him every Sunday. So we got all this hypocrisy going on with this administration. So I just want to highlight that for people to go and do the research themselves. But he did sign some kind of domestic stuff to go after domestic terrorism, which I think he mean his own damn self, because all that he qualified for almost every last thing up there on that list, you know. So I'd like to get your comment briefly if you can, because you know we go rattle some feathers out there in MAGA world.
Oh yeah, and then to go back, I want to go back, Brother J, back to law enforcement right quick, because I want people to understand what's going on with these departments and how these officers get here. You might see an officer, say in New York City, let's just say a New York police officer.
Mm-hmm.
He done put somebody in a chokehold in New York. They put him on administrative leave. They cut him loose, but they don't put that in his record.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes to Louisiana and he said, "Well, I want to work for the Shreveport Police Department." Puts in an application, Shreveport hire. He does something against Shreveport's department policy, and I'm only using Shreveport as an example. He does something against Shreveport department policy, racial profile injustice. Shreveport cut him loose. Uh, they don't put that in his record though. They allow him to be able to be hired somewhere else. He come to Lafayette. Now he's got that pattern of doing wrong, and then when he gets to Lafayette, he takes it even further, and he go and take somebody's life. He go and take somebody's life. Now, all they want you to know is that they had an officer at Lafayette PD, and they took somebody's life, and that's that's it. But they not gonna always. Let me tell you something about our black and brown people. We are good people. We know how to do our research, and we put it out there because multiple officers went back and did research. Now they're not with the department no more. They resigned. Some resigned. Some retired. They did something. They didn't hurt somebody. Next door, KTC, they're not gonna tell you that officer, that individual was a former officer, and he had a pattern, and that he did things, and the justice system didn't do what they needed to do to nip it in the bud, and it went so far to where he was able to take somebody's life. They're not gonna tell you that, but we do research, and a lot of times it goes so viral to where the mainstream media have to come back and correct what they put out on the surface, and that's how the information get brought out about the officer. So I want to commend us for that, though. I want to commend us for that, making things go viral, because we do catch clips and make it go viral. But on the surface, the Trump administration, on the surface, to talk about that, on the surface of the Trump administration, the Trump administration, what he wants, what that administration wants to do is get rid of law enforcement completely, get rid of the justice system completely, and have the United States Army control how law enforcement operate, how the justice system operate. Really, they want to be able to control the courtrooms. They want to be able to control law enforcement officers.
Well, you know, that's funny. Funny you should bring that up, and that's where I was going, Brother Keaton. I didn't mean to interrupt you because you're on the floor. Trump and Hegseth rallied troops in a rare meeting where he got called all the generals, all the leadership, top brass in the military to wherever they gonna meet at. I think in Quantico, Virginia, where the head of the FBI is training situation is. Now, if you look at this right here, we're not too far off from this stuff right here on this depiction I have, which it could be deemed as a terrorist swipe against him because we calling him a Nazi, right? If you going to rally the troops and call the generals to tell them you want them not to be woke, meaning you don't want them to be aware of anything that is wrong, that's against people of color or anybody else who they perceive as undesirable in the United States. Well, he is the one who's trying to use the United States troops to do an insurrection against the people of the United States. What I would say to the black troops, because he's already purging the military. If you go back and look at the high-ranking officers he fired, was mostly black and women, right? And people they relieved of their duty. all the information concerning the contribution of black folks to the military, even the Veteran Administration. He is technically purging everything. Him and the little wild white boy Hessig, the one who want to just party and get drunk all the time. That's what he's doing, and we got to look at it for what it is. Now, the thing I would say to black officers in there: don't obey those orders to go beyond. Don't be a tool of, let's say, put it like this. Don't be a tool of white supremacy while you're serving in the military. I see a lot of ICE agents who are black guys, and they got some big black guys. And that's the mostly they use them for enforcement. Just like when you see black police officers who roll up there with white officers and they be the black officers that they use to slam you down sometime or throw you up to intimidate you and stuff like that. Please, black brother, don't be a tool of white supremacy. If you're in any service in the military or police officers, don't be a tool of white supremacy. In numbers, we are strong when we are unified. But this is what Trump is doing. He's insulting your intelligence, serving in the United States military, and thinking you're going to do justice and you're serving your country. But he's using you to harass regular people in the United States. Black soldiers, black police officers, don't be a tool of white supremacy. That's all I can say about that.
And why we talking about it? Why we talking about it on the national level? Why we on the national level? And I know, and I know I'm kind of overstepping, Brother J, moving fast. The government shutdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching some things, and bruh, these MAGAs, the white supremacists, Republican politicians, they get up there, and Brother J, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky because, for me, as a black African American male, sit back and I listen, and I'm listening to these white MAGA supremacists hold meetings, and they tell you this, and then if you don't really pay attention, or you not catching everything on the surface, you're gonna fall for what they saying. Now look, they're gonna make you believe they trying to make you believe that the Democrats is the cause for the government shutdown or whatever. If the government shut down, they'll be the cause. Which the Democrats saying that in order for us to move forward with your short-term spending plan, you got to say that what's got to be in this bill is that Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act stays. Certain cuts that was supposed to be cut to Medicare got to be restored. Medicaid, certain cuts got to be restored, and they're not moving unless it be restored. Now, the only tricky thing about it is will Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffrey fall like they've been doing to the hands of these Republicans, or they gonna let it shut down? What I see,
Right. And Keith, we could come back to this. Now, let me read some articles concerning with a concern for the local people who just want to get some facts. A question that being asked in the state of Louisiana on a global level: Do the Social Security payments continue in a government shutdown? Well, the answer is Social Security benefits, including supplemental security income and benefits for retirement, benefits for disability, and survivors benefit continue uninterrupted through government shutdown. Money for Social Security benefit program is considered mandatory spending by law, meaning its budget is not dependent on a yearly congressional approval, according to the Social Security Administration, the SSA, right? Unlike the discretionary spending, which requires congressional government a congressional agreement on how money will be spent. Mandatory program must continue, meaning Social Security payments are distributed on a regular schedule. And if you rely on these benefits, you should continue to receive your check or direct deposit as usual, regarding what happens on October 1st. Because remember, tonight, midnight is the deadline. Other services provided by the SSA with Social Security Administration, however, such as processing new application can be impacted, meaning, right, if the government shut down, you won't be able to process your application if it's in the process of being, if it's in the being processed, the resulting lack of workers and movement in the government system. All right, so that's I think it's much more to it, and I got some other stuff. Go ahead, brother Keith. I'm gonna read some other stuff in a little bit.
Correct, and that's the thing. What I'm saying is these Democrats saying if you don't restore this, or you don't make sure, because this is the Republicans' agenda. We gonna destroy. What we gonna do? We gonna get rid of Obamacare, and we gonna give you something better. But the something better is nothing. The something better is nothing because they don't have a plan one as to what's a better healthcare plan.
Right,
Brother G.
right.
I got a technical problem. They don't have a better healthcare system, so we go but then their thing is to gut it all away and blame it on the
on the
they
Democrats. And again,
yeah.
but we got to still lay the blame the Democratic Party for not being. They claim to be the advocates for everybody, but they didn't have a plan, or they're not strong enough to stand up to the MAGA onslaught. And what it is more about optics, what people see, or who is doing what with how many or whatever. Using this situation where we got a supermajority. We hear that in the state of Louisiana. Brother Jay, we got a supermajority. What you want us to do? Well, that's the time to think fast on your feet as a group. And you should be having some plans and idea that steps outside the mainstream box of governance, because these people are not playing fair. What the Democrats should have done should have put everybody with that MAGA agenda in check in the state of Louisiana. Even your dog catcher, if your dog catcher was MAGA, you should have been questioning him on his policies. And we haven't done that. We see that so-called Acadiana, and I spell it with 3 Ks, a delegation from the Black Caucus down here. What they do, they play niceties with these people, and really they're not getting anywhere with these people. That's the problem. They got to put when they go low. Well, I'm sorry, Michelle, I love you, but they should be going low too, just as low as they go. And with what the rhetoric that they're preaching out there in Baton Rouge. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing I'm saying, Brother Jay. Thing of it is, even if it's even if it's not gonna pass, still support it. Still support it. You got to play hardball. You got to play hardball. And thing of it is that what they doing is they gutting all implementations or all programs that was put in to help, and then 9 times out of 10 is a white family in poverty that's really really on these assistance, and they want you to believe that is African American, black and brown people that's sucking up all the resources, so they're gonna gut the resources, and then after gutting the resources, what they're doing is blaming it on the Democrats. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. Now, the president, this his thing. if you don't pass, if y'all don't pass this short term spending bill where we cut all these things, where all these things get cut, well then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just start firing federal workers all across the board. I'm gonna just start firing them.
Well, here's the killing part, and you see, and that's why when we tell people to pay attention, you hear me forever ranting and raving against media. Why I was always Channel 10 is nothing but a racist operation. Because I mean, we could have black faces giving the news, but the people that owned it, even the previous owner, they were more in tune with white supremacy. Here's the point: if people don't know, they don't know how to proceed. And we can't depend on that so-called mainstream media also now, especially. Listen to this. A recent report showed a significant number of black women leaving the labor force, with over 300,000 jobs lost between February and April 2025. Most of these black women were employed in the federal positions and in the educational positions, and even at some universities, given the fact that MAGA is anti-DEI. So think about this: if Channel 10 and KLFY, owned by Nexstar, who is a masquerading as a mainstream media operation, which is more in line with Fox News, Nexstar, if they're reporting this, they don't want you to know that. And our local politicians and our local so-called radio celebrities who are on corporate media, you got one who always talking about Zydeco and music, and I'm hearing they can't even win dog catch out that way. They always talking about some crazy country bumpkin stuff, not giving the right news and information. And you got another one who's can't talk about anything other than their self-interest of the corporate bottom line. So you don't have any media giving us accurate information on the 300,000 job loss between February and April 2025.
Correct. And didn't really, Brother J, really with this what
And black
what
women,
the
I'm sorry,
what the
black women lost those jobs.
with the big beautiful bill, you hear about a lot of things, but nobody really talking about what's really about to be hit major. And then maybe maybe people just don't understand
Maybe people
what
just
it
don't care.
means locally. Some may not just care, but I think like everyday people, normal people who not into it, I think they just don't know what's about to happen. I mean, when you talk about what's this healthcare, the cuts to healthcare that's about to come through. You talking about you catching a heart attack and they putting you sitting in the waiting room. They ain't got a bed. They ain't got a bed to put you in the back. They putting you sitting in the waiting room because they don't have enough people to serve on you. That's what the bill. That's what this bill is about to bring about. That's that's what the fight is about. You gonna make sure that our people can have access to accurate health care in this country. Make sure that people can have access to accurate health care in this country. That's what the stalling is about for Democrats. But then you got you got this Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, which is a Louisiana U.S. representative, state of Louisiana. He's a U.S. representative. He's from the state of Louisiana, serving of Shreveport, Monroe, those areas. Saying he gets up there and and does a press conference and says this is something long term got to be talked about. If the Democrats want to talk about it, let's get this short-term spending bill passed, which is partisan, and all it is cuts and tax breaks for the wealthy and cuts for the people that's every day. And surface of it is you gonna restore this. You gonna make sure that our people have. And I gotta stress that, brother J. The big thing is that healthcare stays the same or is better. Um, peop, the people in this country get access to accurate healthcare, to quick healthcare, because what's about to come through in 2026. I'm talking about you at home, you catching a heart attack, and the paramedics don't want to come get you because they know they're not getting paid.
Yeah. Well,
And
here's
and
one of the sticking points in the shutdown situation that Schumer and Jeffries were meeting with the Republicans and the idiot in the White House. It was focusing on protecting the provisions of the ACA, specific policy demands, and the healthcare focus was an area pressing urgency due to the ACA enrollment period, extending certain subsidiaries for individuals to purchase healthcare insurance under the ACA and reversing some cuts to Medicaid affecting 10 million people, as identified by the Congressional Budget Office. And the thing is, they're saying what gonna happen if they don't do it, that the premium's gonna go up exponentially. I mean, up to 80%, and some people might go bankrupt or go broke behind the healthcare issue because of what Trump and these MAGA idiots want to do. You know,
yeah, correct,
so
correct.
that's a sticking point. And I'm glad the Democrats supposedly got a backbone and not caving into, especially Schumer, not caving into these idiots in D.C. and Mike Johnson, the so-called Christian weirdo. You know, great brother Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the that's just the healthcare aspect of it. I mean, you got other things that the Department of Education get rid of it. Get rid of it all. What they want to do? They want to get rid of public school, all public schools, and they want you to put your kids in these private funded schools where they can make $1. So they want to get rid of. They want to. They put Linda McMahon, who knows
yeah,
nothing about education.
yeah. She was
All
body
she
slammed a
knows
couple of
is
times by her own
right,
daughter and husband. Yeah.
yeah, Linda McMahon and the president get on TV, give a speech saying, "Oh, I told Linda do a real good job working yourself out of a job." So you know what that means? You get rid of the Department of Education. They want to cut the gut the Department of Education, and that's just the Department of Education.
Mm.
Let's look at the Civil Rights Division of the federal. They want to gut that out completely.
Well,
The
they didn't
Justice
gut that
Department.
already. They didn't
Yeah,
gut that
oh
already. That's
yeah,
why. That's why
yeah,
hopefully some people are catching their head and and saying there should be some type of international tribunal on those that even though Trump is technically by the so-called the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court giving him immunity, a lot of his cronies, Hessig, Pam Blondie, uh, Cash, Cross-eyed Patel, and others can be held accountable and brought up on abuse of power. Hopefully that gonna happen. Hopefully the Democrats catch their head and start doing some things and remind them, those people who are out there ordering ICE agents to commit atrocities on people on the side of the road, that there'll be some repercussions if you're an ICE agent and think you're getting away because you have a mask on. there are ways of identifying people with masks on. Definitely there are. You know, the same
Correct.
technology they use on identifying people all over the place. They could use it identifying these ICE agents who are beating people up. And one was so hilarious where I saw the guy on the bicycle outran him, and he wasn't even moving fast. So you basically got a
Yes.
bunch of neo Nazis, Proud Boys, and people with tattoos. You could identify those ICE agents by tattoos. Also, you got a bunch of these people in government. As a human, as a person who claiming their human rights, such as myself, you don't have a right to harass, kill me, do anything you want to me under human rights. Human rights trumps every right under the United States government to have the right to live and not being harmed by someone else. You know, so black folks need to, and people of color need to start asserting their human rights more than anything else on this planet.
Yeah, because the Trump, I mean, the Trump thing, and I've been saying this since the beginning. The Trump administration thing is to see how far they can go, how far they can go, how far they can go, and his thing is seeking a third term. That's he's seeking a third term some kind of way, some kind of way, some kind of will. He's seeking a third term, but the thing of it is, we have to understand that Donald Trump is just the president. He's just the head of the administration.
Right.
We have to start going at some of our congressmen, the delegation, the senators. We got U.S. senators in there. We got U.S. reps. We have to go. We have to go after them, and then also us on the surface. When it comes to these judges' seats, when it comes to these judges' seats, especially the federal, we have to get out and vote for these seats. Um, these did we put emphasis on races such as councilmen, congressmen, the governor, the president's race. We put emphasis on the legislative and executive branch of government. When it comes to election season, we put emphasis on those. But then um, the ones we don't push much is these judges,
The
these
judicial system,
judgeships,
yes.
the judicial system,
Yeah.
and the way the United States government is set up, the court, what the court say is law.
and
What the
and
court
and
say is
and,
law.
and everything that this administration in DC throws up against the wall won't stick because they don't. He won't have enough time to invoke all of these judges, and when a federal judge disagrees with him, he won't have time now. If the all the courts were saturated with people filing suits on the wrongness or some of the things they're doing in D.C. Against people in the United States, he won't have time to litigate all these cases in front of the Supreme Court where he think he could get his ultimate answer. You know, I mean, he's running the board with the Supreme Court. You know, we got Clarence Uncle Thomas up there who's basically don't even think he don't even think he's black. He actually hates his black skin. When you rule the way you rule, you actually hate who you are. I guess he looks in the mirror and says, "God damn, I got a big black nose. Man, I'm mad at the creator for creating me this way. So guess what? I'm gonna take it out on these other black folk with big noses, you know, such as Brother Jay and
Yeah.
everybody else." So the thing is this: we have to look at, like you said, on the federal level, these judges and push for some appointments, even with and push for some election of judges who might be somewhat fair. You know, that's all we could hope for. You know.
For yeah, and brother Jay, they got this guy when Biden was president. Bo Downey, they call him. Um, I did some research. Every executive order, every executive order, it didn't pertain to him. all of them wasn't things that pertained to him, but because he knew that he could stall the Biden administration, every executive order Biden put out, this man filed a federal suit. He filed a suit against the Biden administration to uh, stall the Biden executive order, stall the tactics, and that's the thing. That's what we have to do as a culture people. Every time something, because just about everything, just about every executive order President Trump puts out, or just about everything dealing with the Trump administration is an attack, is an attack on some kind of constitutional protected rights. It's some kind of attack. So if we start filing suits and motions and so much to where the Supreme Court can't intervene on them all. You know,
I,
that's his biggest.
Brother Keith, I want
That's
to segue into this. I don't know if you heard about boxing champion who just won a title, Terrence Crawford, being stopped and held at gunpoint by Omaha, Nebraska police. That is so sad that they know who this person was, and they go stop him and put a gun on him. This shows you what we up against here in America.
and that's what I say. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They're within the law enforcement departments, and to go back to what I said, to piggyback on what I said earlier, um, they move them around. They switch them around.
Let me give a shout out, Brother Keith, to Sister Salita McCall from the central part of the state. We always want to put our undisclosed location more so than ever because of what MAGA is doing out there. Sister Salita McCall, she gonna have a I think different shows this week. Check her out. Go to her page on Facebook, Sister Salita McCall. She's a Universal Collective Network. Some great shows out of the central part of the state. Really appreciate her. I want to just give her a shout out. Go ahead, Brother Keith.
But but back to what I was saying earlier. That's what they do. They shift them around departments. What they do is people get riled up in Minnesota. This officer that did something wrong. You get riled up in Minnesota. Well, you know what? We gonna fire him. We you know we gonna give him a chance to resign, and we gonna keep things out his record that's gonna hurt him from becoming an officer in another location. And they
Right.
move him around, and they move him around. They move him around the country, and they end up taking somebody's life, and they end up some not 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 getting a conviction on the surface at all. Not 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 going under investigation at all. Nothing. But then you have some where they get convicted and they're getting 5 years. They're getting 5 years and they took a life. But then you got a brother on the street that done never kill nobody, but have given bodily injuries that rise to the level of attempted murder. And they're being sentenced to 25 years to life. While this officer that killed somebody is sentenced to 5 years. 5 years on the surface. So that just goes to show you the justice system. And it's just, I don't know how many. The few we see on TV is just a few. The few you get news about is just a few. How many people out there? How many incidents out there that happen that's not being talked about, that haven't come out yet. You got incidents that happened maybe 5, 6 years ago that's just starting to surface now. That you're just starting to get a body cam footage on, or you just starting to get a footage from some facility on where these police brutalities happen. And I mean, it's just sad. We need to have a plan to move forward. We need to have a plan to move forward. Maybe we need to uh join our own force, create our own force, protection, the new Black Panther part. You know, maybe we need that. And especially in your in your southern rural areas. Your southern rural areas is where things get real dangerous, or
Let
things
me let
can
me
get
let me give you this
real.
quick update from KPLC News 7 in Lake Charles. Governor Jeff Landry said has formally requested the deployment of the 1,000 federally funded Louisiana National Guard troops to help address the ongoing public safety concern throughout the state. But goddamn, idiot governor, you want to put a gun in everybody gumbo pot? What you think gonna happen in a state that has less educational opportunity, less health care outcomes, uh, more corporate greed, more corruption than any other state? What you think gonna happen? I mean, what a bunch of idiots that these people keep electing. The electorate keep electing these idiots, and they wonder why we get the same outcome all the damn time. You want National Guards to do what? To do what? To shoot somebody on sight? What? You can't even clean up the Ronald Green case, and you want to bring some people who not even trained to be police officers in. Wow. Again,
Correct.
black soldier, don't be a tool of white supremacy. That's all I can say about that. And the white supremacists know who they are. Go ahead, brother.
This what they and that's what they do. I mean, you wanna you wanna put, you pass a law saying that you can conceal carry, but then you wanna call in, so say National Guards to curb the crime in the in the state, high crime. But then you're saying you can conceal carry without having a permit. You don't have to go through the training
Yeah,
anymore.
and let's
So
make this
what?
state let's make this state more dangerous, people. Let's see how far we could go. We're gonna make sure we have alcohol flowing out the wazoo every day of the week. We're gonna make sure we have cigarette. We're gonna make sure we have access to all types of meds that will make us crazy. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And coupled with some poor health thing, let's let everybody go get the big old plate of gumbo and boudin crackling and have damn near coronary bypass surgery every other week. No, it's a wonder why these cardio specialists, they say, well, you know what? I'm moving to Louisiana. We're gonna make a whole lot of damn money. Nothing about proper health, and the way we consume things here in the state of Louisiana. Nothing about let's do more safely the way we use alcohol and the way we use tobacco products, heavy smoking and so forth. Vape shop on every corner. I'm not, again, people want to have those vices. That's up to them. They want to smoke, drink, be merry every 365 days. That's on them. But you got consequences for stuff like that. You got severe consequences, and mix it all. And in the middle of all of that stuff in the gumbo pot, let's throw in a couple of AK-47s and guns with switches and so forth. Let's throw all that in the pot, and let's see what kind of outcome we gonna have in the state. Let's see if we could break some records and statistics health-wise by being last, in every conceivable category. So this is the state of Louisiana. And I think Keith had to step out for a minute. Keith, are you back? Let's see. We got Keith back. You back, Keith?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and Yeah, and that's the thing, is statistic. You know, Louisiana focus on a lot of cultural things, seafood,
I think we got a caller. You want to take this
festivals.
call?
Yeah, we can take this caller,
Caller?
but
Just a
music,
second there, caller.
what music? We focus on music, shrimp, the ball food. Uh, we
Yes, sir.
what we don't focus on is
Hold
how the
on.
state of Louisiana
Hold on,
is how
brother.
the state of
Brother
Louisiana
Wallace?
is
Hold on
dead
for a second.
last.
We gonna get him right back. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get this thing up right quick.
Okay. People. What we don't focus on is how the state of
All right.
Louisiana is dead last in almost everything
Brother
when
Wallace,
it
can you
comes
hear us?
when it
Yes,
comes
sir.
to crime on the
Good morning.
surface.
And good morning to Brother Keaton. Like always, y'all always having a good program. Y'all talking the right talk. Y'all letting everybody know what's really going on. And this is what makes a program good and what y'all talking about. But y'all talking about how the courts, they putting people in courts, how they want the services, the men not supposed to be against us in New Orleans. All that is to catch black folks with guns, run their record through. If they've been arrested, have a felony, you understand me? They're gonna arrest them because they got guns,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all about. They claim to protect the citizen of New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Shreveport and all of that. All of that is Jeff Landry signed the bill that we could carry a concealed weapon. Well, we got a lot of black people with felony records. And the felony records, you understand me, say you can't carry a weapon. If you got
Right.
domestic violence, you
Right.
can't carry a weapon. If you done been to a mental institution, you can't carry a weapon. So now, what they gonna do? Start stopping us to see if we got a weapon on us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have a weapon on us, we don't have that right to carry concealed weapon.
Right.
You're gonna have to go get a permit. Black folks, don't think y'all can walk around with a gun. You understand me? And don't suffer the consequences.
And Brother Wallace,
So
while I got you on the line,
yeah,
I like to get your opinion on the pending government shutdown at midnight tonight. I just read a piece from the Social Security Administration saying there won't be no interruption to funds for the people who receive all forms of Social Security benefits and veterans benefits. So the thing is this: do you trust everything they say, even if they have a shutdown that people who have need access to different information and programs, or will they get served? And what do you think overall about the shutdown?
well, Brother Jay, I've been looking for this shutdown. Ever since Trump been in office, he do things to hurt the American people, not help the American people.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first. This is not the first shutdown, that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But what they doing, they hurting the military. They hurting the people that control the plans and things like this here. Long as they don't take away Social Security and Medicare while they're doing that, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Well, part of I think Keith. I read Keith the information. Part of it, Brother Wild, is the
You're
concern
breaking
is
up, Brother
by the
Jay.
Democrats.
You're breaking up.
Schumer and Jeffries meeting with the idiots, Mike Johnson and Trump yesterday, was the concern about a part of the Affordable Care Act, part of what they want to say Obamacare, and saying that the key provisions to it will end if they
Brother
don't
Jay, you're
agree
breaking up
to it.
bad.
And the concern is how much the premiums gonna go up and gonna put people almost in bankruptcy who might be at risk with medical issues if that does not if they don't agree to something. So I'm glad the Democrats are standing firm in this case. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, well, they want to
Yeah.
blame the Democrats for the shutdown. No, blame yourself for the shutdown because you want to take things away from the American people, not give things to the American people. And this is what the Democrat is fighting for. Y'all can believe all the rhetoric. You understand me? Is the Democrat doing it? Is the Republican doing it? Because they want control over what they want, and the Democrats not allowing them to take control.
Mhm.
And that's the bottom line.
Right.
What part of that you can't understand?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And then you got people come on radio and all of that and make people feel that they are the cause of what's going on.
Right.
No, you part of the cause of what's going on.
And
See?
the issue is with those corporate stations that pretend. I was just giving Keith a rundown about the Nexstar Corporation, the people that was getting rid of free speech with Jimmy Kimball and others. The Nexstar Corporation masquerade as a mainstream, middle of the road operation. They own KLFY TV Channel 10 franchise. They also own News Nation, which is another bull news operation mirrored on Fox News. So you got corporations like that who not giving us the full news and giving us misinformation, and because they're on the side of MAGA for lying to the corporate people. Then you got black corporate-owned state. Well, not they owned by corporations, but they got black formats, right? Not telling everybody. Got personalities too scared to talk about the real issues in the community, basically trying to uphold the existence of local government, like that local government is being fair to everybody. So this is where we at, and that's why your show, Community Matters, Mr. Kevin's show, Defending Our Community, The Open Line, Real Talk TV, Brother Dal Muhammad, Community Defender, is very essential on these AOC channels, man, and I appreciate what you do.
Yes, definitely, Brother Jay. Like I say, it's a lot of things that other media allow to happen that is totally against the people. You got people that look like us that's on social media. You understand me? Gerrymandering.
Slipping and sliding in Crisco. Take a word from the late great brother Takuna.
Yeah. So those kind of things, we better make sure we're paying attention to. We better make sure we understand what's going on. And if you don't understand it, try to find out the right information, not the false information. So that's it, Brother Jay. But like I said, you and Keith doing a wonderful job. Good morning, Keith. Keep up the good work. And we're going to holler back later.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Wallace.
Yeah.
All right, my brothers.
You'll catch Brother Wallace every Friday on AOC Community from 10 to 12 on the same great station. Yeah, Brother Keith, Brother Wallace mentioned the shutdown. Well, I asked him about the shutdown and so forth. But he brought up the media, and we want to keep revisiting over and over. Because, you can't make people have control of their own content. But the responsibility of people who serve in the public and people who do media is more of important than any other time in this timeline of history. And if you don't have a media and tell the truth about the media you own. Tell the truth. You're on a big corporate outlet was on zillions of stations, but all you get is to shaking your butt and some pornography all the time. and you're not getting accurate news and information, or you're not getting even the other side of the news information, well, you're doing a disservice to claim you're a black, let's say, black formatted entity.
Correct. Correct. Um, and the media plays a big part. And the media plays a big part
Yeah, the media's got
nowadays.
Trump in power. The media got
Yeah.
Trump in power.
Um,
Got
but
MAGA in power.
before the media would watch how the government moves. Now the government watch how the media
It,
moves, and nowadays the media
if it
plays a
was
big part
if it
in how
wasn't
the
so
government
valuable,
operates.
why would Brandon Project 2025 Carr, that's his middle name, Project 2020, one of the architects, along with Kevin Roberts from Lafayette, a proud UL graduate, with Kevin Roberts and Brandon Carr, some of the key architects of the Project 20. Why would they get so angry and try to ban Jimmy Kimball if it wasn't the media wasn't so important? Right? Right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct, correct, and that's the thing is, and that's the thing. The media is the media that plays the part, and then with this administration, these different departments, they have their own heads, but then he's running the departments himself. He want to run the departments himself and tell the department heads what he wants done, and that's what they're going after. They're going to these department heads are going to go after media that that's fair media. They're going to go after fair media. They're going to go after media that put the facts how the facts go and where the facts are laid. And where the facts are laid, they're going to go after that those
Right.
media. And that's why it's more than ever now that we support the public access television, public access media. And that's why it's more than evident that we support it.
Mm-hmm.
Because public access media is where you're gonna get the real information, not the information or where they break it down to a certain level or cut out certain parts of the information and they
Right.
give you what they want you to know or they give you what they want you to hear. They're not gonna give you the full facts and the full source. Nowadays, most people gotta go to when something, if even when something dramatic happens, you gotta go to social media to
Mm-hmm.
find out uh
Right.
the real story, the backstory, or what happened, what led to it, because the mainstream media nowadays are dumbing down the way they put out information, the way they give information. They're leaving it one sided. They're cutting it out for one side, and that's because of this current administration attack on corporate media.
Right, right. And I want to try to pull up this article about YouTube and people. I depend on YouTube a whole lot. I had my issues with YouTube in the past, especially when it came to the COVID-19 vaccine, which I didn't have my position, but I was streaming other shows. The show with Brother Darrell Muhammad and Brother Darrell Muhammad has an excellent, more practical view of the whole thing of doing COVID-19 and what they did because I was showing a show, a television show based on someone else research and information. They threatened to ban me, but now MAGA got the power. They let MAGA say whatever they want. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. MAGA could say let's kill or bum rush. They gonna let MAGA say whatever they want, just like Elon Musk. He's saying
And
whatever he
MAGA
wants.
doing it.
You know.
Or MAGA is doing it.
Yeah, yep. I'm trying to pull up the article right now. YouTube to pay $22 million to Donald Trump. That is so crazy because they took down his platform, but yet they were taking people platform down over COVID-19 because they didn't participate in the vaccine stuff. Man, that is so crazy. You know. Okay, where's that? YouTube to pay. Okay, here's it come right now. YouTube. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Google YouTube has agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle a lawsuit that Donald Trump, brought after the video site suspended his account following the January 6, 2021 attacks on the Capitol, following the election that resulted in him leaving the White House for 4 years. He's saying that's the cause of him losing the election. How crazy that is! The settlement of more than 4 years of the 4-year-old case earmarks $22 million for Trump to contribute to the Trust for the National Mall and a construction of a White House ballroom. Wow, that is so crazy. According to the court documents filed Monday, the remaining $2.5 million will be paid to other parties involved in the case, including the writer Naomi Wolf at the American Conservative Union. Man, this is some bull stuff. And YouTube was kicking people off. YouTube was kicking people off because they simply said they wasn't taking the vaccine, but yet they gonna give Trump as his group formatted the insurrection and start causing people harm and saying a lot of racist stuff, walking up in there with the Confederate flag, but they gonna give him 22. Did you see what I told you? Where the media at now? Why you can't trust the media? You can't trust Cumulus. You can't trust Citadel. You can't trust CBS. You can't trust ABC. You can't trust none
No
of these
media.
things because they all caving into the idiot. You know? When
Correct.
you and I make a statement, they go kick us off completely
Oh,
and squarely.
yeah, kick us off for even social media.
Well,
But
you know what they gonna say? Well, brother Jay, you're not Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is everything that nobody could ever one day cheering to aspire to be. You know,
but but brother Jay, this is the thing. With the Democratic politicians and leaders, when when the Democrats have control, they have the opportunity to put in certain measures, put certain things in
Merrick
place.
Garland,
And what they
Merrick Garland. I'm sorry.
and what they do is they fall back on certain things. They fall back and say, we want to play fair, we want to be fair. And then when a Republican majority takes over, um, they don't want to play fair. Then you get a Republican president who don't want to play fair. They don't want to play fair. They want to roll how they roll. They don't want to play fair. They don't want to give in to anybody. And I say this to say that everything that's going on now, that's because the Democrats allowed it. When they
Yeah,
had control,
yeah,
they should have put measures in place.
right.
They should have put certain measures in place. No way, no way Donald Trump should have been able to run for
And
a second
even in the state of Louisiana, when John Bell Level was in power,
power.
they
Certain
they
measures should have
neglected
been in place.
they did not exert their real power. Even the Black Caucus, when they had the power, you had some Black Caucus members dodging or deflecting the issue of Ronald Green on behalf of the governor, John Bell Edwards, who family is law enforcement. It's a lot of things that you could lay at the feet of the weak ass Democratic Party. You know, I say it proudly,
Correct.
weak ass Democratic Party, and that's what they are. You know, don't have a clue. So it's almost like negligence when you're riding with a person who you supposedly could count on, but that person caused the whole situation to go bad. And that's just what it is with the Democrats. They contributed
Correct.
to the MAGA influential people getting in power and doing whatever the hell they want.
It's just like it's
The
just
facts bear
like
that out. The facts bear that
yeah,
out.
it's just like hiring. I mean, it's just like uh having you a designated driver, but then your designated driver start drinking too,
Yeah, yeah,
and fall asleep at the wheel. It's just the same
yeah.
thing. It's
Same
the
thing.
same thing with
So if your
this
Social
Democratic
Security
thing.
or your Medicaid get cut off, you gotta blame the Democrats, and not just Trump. It's not just the MAGA, not just Jeff Landry. You gotta blame the weak ass
It's just
Democratic Party for
it's
supposedly taking your vote and squandering it. Squandering it like you
it's
go to
it's,
the
it's,
casino and squander money. And that's just what they
it's,
did. They
it's,
squandered
it's,
your
it's,
votes.
it's everybody
I,
on
I
the
know this is
surface.
controversial, Keith. This is very controversial for those who looking at us and watching us and listening to us saying, well, these guys are crazy, just as crazy as Trump. Well, okay. You got any other explanation to what's going on? You know, MAGA
It's,
just
it's, it's,
walked in there and rolled in there because we got a bunch of racists in Louisiana who voted for MAGA based on race. But we got a lot of smart people who, based on economics, who would probably voted for Trump because the Democratic Party could not explain themselves how they was going to lift us out of all these bad situations. So that's what I'm saying when I
and,
say we got some weak ass
and,
Democrats.
and I want to do this right now. We got about what 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes left. I want to open the floor or open the phone line to anybody who wanna call in, give their side, give uh, if you got something to add to what we're saying, or if you disagree, uh, we can always disagree to agree. So
Hmm.
if you want to chime in the conversation, if you got something you feel we haven't addressed or something you feel that we address incorrectly, open the phone lines for you to call in three three
especially
seven
that
two
especially that
seven two.
media situation here in South Louisiana. Especially if you're
Yeah,
mad
yeah.
about that.
That 337-272-8849. 337-272-8849. We invite your
Well, brother,
conversation. I mean,
brother Keith, we also gonna be on tomorrow with the Open Line Radio Show.
yes, sir.
Again,
Correct.
again, we're streaming live on Digital Soul Radio. We hope to take this platform to new heights. We got more and more shows that we could be including on the Digital Soul Radio. The beauty of the Digital Soul Radio network and platform is that we got apps that you could put in your pocket in your phone. More people own phones than they own radio players, or even in car players. You could put the app into your Apple CarPlay, into your Android Auto, or listen through the TuneIn app in your car. Whether you have an older car or a new car, you could Bluetooth it in. So that's the beauty of Digital Soul Radio, where you could hear good music and you could have lively conversation, and we're gonna be including news updates soon. This technology
Yeah.
is expanding. Uh, we definitely support terrestrial radio, but with a bit but that we have to embrace the digital technology. I think we have a caller. We will go back to this
Well,
caller again. Caller, welcome back.
good morning, caller.
Thank you for welcoming me back, Brother Jay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I would like to make a little announcement.
Okay.
I
Tonight
can't
at
hear.
Destiny of Faith, they're going to have the superintendent, the two black school board representatives,
Hmm.
and somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Timmy Shashaw going to be there, and
Uh-huh.
a guest at 6:30 at Destiny of Faith, and it's all about the school that they want us to accept, or what's going to happen with it.
Right.
So if we could make that meeting, now's the time
And
for us to speak up
what
whether we
school?
want it or don't want it, or how we
What
want it.
school is that, brother Wallace?
Brother
So,
Wallace,
and that
Brother Keith, I'm gonna turn up his volume. I think he didn't hear you. Go ahead again.
What
The
school
school
is that,
the
brother
school.
Wallace?
the new school that they supposed to be done broke ground for, something that they accepted. They want to close a couple of schools and combine them and things like this here. I don't know the full story. That's why I'm gonna be at the meeting tonight, so I can find out what's really going on.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was. For some viewers out there who might have, didn't know what was going on. I just
Hmm.
wanted to get some clarity on what what was going
Yeah,
on in
well,
the meeting.
I'll be able to give you more status on it when I hear what they got going on. Okay,
Yeah,
So that's
so
tonight
gotcha.
again.
y'all
Tonight,
keep
tell
up
us
the
what
good
time
work,
again in the meeting place.
huh?
Tell us the
Wait,
meeting place
whoa,
It's gonna
and
be
what time again.
it's gonna be a Destiny of Faith
Destiny
on
of Faith.
Patterson,
That's the church.
right across the street from Alice Bouchette.
Okay. Alice Bouchette School. Yes. Okay.
okay, so
Okay, brother Jay,
what?
you're breaking up. So cool. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
brother. Thank you so much.
okay. Once again, family, that's a public hearing. Uh, this evening at 6 o'clock at Destiny of Faith Church, in the Oasis Truman Coterie. Um, and you're gonna have state officials, local officials, and the local school board over there. It's a meeting about combining certain schools, so it's about the new school and just a discussion dialogue.
Right. Right.
All right.
Again, thank Brother Wallace for that update. Check him out every Friday at from 10 to 12 on this very station, AOC Community Media. Yeah, yeah, Brother Pete. A
Yeah.
lot happening. Anybody want to take bets? Louisiana's a betting state. Anybody want to take bets on
Yeah.
the government shutdown? Anybody want to do odds? They bet on everything in the state of Louisiana. Anybody want to take some odds on whether or not they're going to shut down at 12 p.m. 12 midnight tonight? And
Tonight.
the reason I'm saying taking bets is that you might be able to recoup some of your losses by going, since you go to the casino all the time and spend all your money at the casino. That's just me. I'm sorry. The state where the state of Louisiana going to have to fork over some money for Gail Benson to add on to the Louisiana Superdome
The
again.
Superdome. Yeah.
Where she has one of the most profitable NFL franchises, and so the taxpayers of the state of Louisiana hopefully don't have to put the bill on the add-on, but more than likely they will, just to keep the Saints here. I heard somebody say this, and I'm saying a lot today, and I don't want anybody mad, that they think the Saints gonna go 0-17 this year. Any truth to that, Brother Keith? I don't want nobody mad. I was wishing for the
I don't
Cowboys to
know.
lose, but
I don't know, brother J. I don't know. But brother J, I think I mentioned it at the top of the show. Harmon Park is getting a new amphitheater, cup.
yeah. Well, that
Getting a
might be
new
good if they have some
amphitheater.
some nice concert venues to come over there. I'm all for, because I know in New Iberia they got the Sugarcane Festival building. It's just been sitting up there. I know they have a lot of dance team go up in there. The last time I checked, but that's an excellent venue for live concerts and bands to come in, even though it's a smaller city. But if they had a good promotional team, that Sugarcane Festival building could have been used for those types of concerts. But then again, they build things, and then later on down the line, they claim they're not making no money off of it because they don't have no foresight in organizing with all the content out there. But sometimes they don't want other people to be involved in some of those things or be a part of that venue. You know what I'm saying? Keep the
Correct.
Negroes home
You
on the other
know,
side of New Iberia, and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
them on in one certain area called Hopkins Street, and then we don't have to bring them downtown to the concerts over there. We know that's how
Yeah,
it works out. So that's just my opinion.
the Negroes gonna tear our building up.
Yeah, yeah, a building that's not making any money because it's not being
But
used
yeah,
regularly. So that's just the way it is. So
you you know they talk. They talk. But yeah, folks, stay alert. Stay alert. Follow what's going on. Do some research because there's a lot of things that's going on. There's a lot of things that has happened that is going to happen.
mhm.
And a lot of things that are coming to happen. And I mean, that mega plan, y'all. That mega plan is something serious. It's nothing to
Yeah,
be
yeah. And
joked about.
again, I want to say rest in peace, our great sister Ashada Shakur.
Yeah,
People,
shout out
since they're
to
doing away with Black history, and that probably would never be included in real Black history. We want our. It's
correct.
kind of like a godsend in the sense that Trump wanted to take history out. We have to teach our kids our own the history that we know and we could abide by, factual truth. Teach your children about Sister Asada Shakur. Teach them the real truth, not what ABC,
And
Disney, news outlets are talking, calling her this and calling her that, or even the cross-eyed FBI director is calling her, who's much more darker than her skin color. Check out Sister Asada Shakur and read about her real story and why she was in the position she was in, because she was fighting for liberation and for truthfulness back in the day for our people. That's all I can say about that.
correct. And then, Brother Jay, I want to say this. You have a whole segment. You have a whole segment on Charlie Kirk, and I know we addressed it earlier, but you have a whole segment on Charlie Kirk and the hate-driven. And I mean, I don't want to, but the hate-driven shit he pushed.
Yeah,
But you don't take 5 or 10 minutes to give credit, or not even credit, just to memorialize this sister here. You don't give credit, but you take a whole newscast and dedicate it to Charlie Kirk. That just goes to show you how we messed up and how they play with our minds. That
yes,
just
yes,
goes to show, you know, it's serious, y'all. This
yes,
this
yes.
this 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 white supremacist ideology is not nothing imaginary. Is not nothing that's just talk. I mean, this is serious and it's physical, and it's going to get even more physical.
All right, brother Keith, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna run the credits, and we see you
All
tomorrow on the Open
right,
Line
man.
Radio Show. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to thank all our viewing,
Yeah.
listening audience. Thank y'all for engaging with us.
All
Thank
right.
Brother Wallace for calling
All
in
right.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Open line.